James Gunn's Batman in the DCU. We know nothing. I guess let's talk about what we want to see. I got a question for you.
Okay.
Blue and gray or black and gray?
For me personally, I think he should use both. James Gunn wants to put in a middle-aged Batman. I feel like in the movie he should have a flashback of his first suit, and I think his first suit should be the blue and gray, but his suit that he's going to be wearing in the movies should be black and gray.
So do you think like when it flashes back to like the blue and gray, he'd have like the yellow symbol as well?
Yeah, I think so.
So you want just the regular modern take of the bat symbol on his modern suit?
Unless they want to keep it blue and just have a black symbol, kind of like Batman Hush.
Oh, actually, Batman Hush would be insane. If they did a Batman Hush take in live action, there's no way they could do it right without white eyes.
Yes, that's another good point. I think it should have white eyes.
I mean, if they could make it work with like Spider-Man and Deadpool, you know, and those are supposed to be like more of a comic style live action take. And if that's pretty much what James Gunn is trying to bring to the table as well, it only makes sense to have the white eyes.
Should the white eyes be CGI most of the time, or should it be practical?
I think CGI has come a far enough way too nowadays where something as subtle as that wouldn't really look too terrible even if it was done poorly.
Yeah, I agree.
So I guess the other thing that I've been wondering about is trunks. I'm very indifferent about the trunks because I like the New 52 look of Batman without the trunks, but I also like the classic. They were able to make it work with Superman.
It's very hard for them to make a live action with trunks without making it look goofy. I feel like the Superman, it works just fine, but for Batman, it might look a little weird.
True.
But there is this picture online with this artist. He made a Batman suit that has gray leg armor, and then the undergarments was blue or black. It has that color differential in it that kind of gives you the trunk look, but not at the same time it's not trunks. How would you like the cowl? Would you like the cowl like more of a helmet type where he could take off as a whole, or do you want how they have it in the comics where it just drapes over his back?
If it's like a helmet, it can look good.
I feel like if they're gonna go full-fledged fantastical, I think we should have the white eyes. I feel like it would be cool to actually see a Batman that just slides over his cowl.
I almost like the style of like an in-between.
We could have both suits, like kind of both form-fitting as his regular suit, and then if he needs more of an armored suit when he goes to battle, kind of like how Ben Affleck did it in the Justice League, where he has his normal suit, and then when he goes to war, he has a more advanced armored suit.
The more I think about it, the more I'd say I'd reel back in the other direction and go with the fantastical take that you were talking about, where like the cowl is all one piece with the cape. It almost helps to separate Bruce from Batman as well. Maybe I'm reading into it just a little bit too much, but for some reason it just makes sense for him to take his mask off and it to be connected with the cape. So I 100% agree with that.
If they could bring that to live action where the cowl is one piece to the cape, that would be cool. With the way that Batman fights, what would you want to see in the new Batman? Do you want him to be more tactical or more like martial artists?
Just at the very least, I want to see him whatever the opposite of Christopher Nolan's Batman was.
I don't get me wrong, I love Christian Bale, but his fighting style is probably one of the worst fighting styles I've ever seen.
The enemies are pretty much just standing there waiting for him to come hit them.
Yeah, if there was like a death match between all Batmans, he's the first one to die. I'm sorry.
Yeah, dude, seriously.
And then it would probably be Robert Pattinson's Batman out after him.
Batfleck will not hold back in that fight, man. It's game over. I definitely want to see more of like a martial artist take again, but this time maybe like actually use martial arts moves, not whatever that was in Christopher Nolan's movies. Personally, I really enjoy a lot of Grant Morrison's run on Batman in the comics. The beginning of that really leans heavily into like the League of Shadows and Ra's al Ghul storyline. It only makes sense to me when it gets to the fantastical side of things to say that he came from there. I'm kind of hoping that that's also his origins in James Gunn's take as well, and that kind of rolls in like the martial artist stuff. But what do you think? You like more of the gritty like street fighting style Batman, or do you like the Ra's al Ghul martial arts upbringing?
I would have to say martial arts. If you see in any of the Batman anime movies, he's always a martial artist. When he fights the Court of Owls and stuff, I want to see that kind of fighting.
Yeah.
Where it's him, or if he's with Robin at the time, ducking and dodging and just destroying the enemy. That's what I want to see.
Who do you think should play Batman in the DCU?
Right?
That's a loaded question. There's so many different people I've been seeing.
I've been thinking about this a lot. A lot of people are talking about Jacob Elordi.
I've been seeing that. I hear he's like 6'5" too, which is just crazy because he'll be taller than David Cornswet.
Yeah, that would be crazy to have Batman taller than Superman.
I don't know. I think that alone might throw it out the window.
Yeah.
I'm not opposed to it. He's got the jaw. He's not a bad actor. He's got variety and range, that's for sure.
He definitely has the Bruce Wayne look, and I did see the new Frankenstein movie that he plays in, and I could see it. He has a very dark voice, a very low, dark voice. That would work perfectly. But as far as Batman, I don't think he would be the perfect Batman, but I think he would be a good Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, okay.
Not a lot of people are talking about this, but me personally, I want to see it. Scott Adkins. He plays in a lot of martial artist movies, and the most recent one that I've seen was the John Wick 4. He plays a gangster, kind of.
Okay.
If you haven't seen him, I would definitely look up some of his movies. Don't get me wrong, he's a little older. He might not be the best Bruce Wayne, but as far as Batman, he would put so much aura when he's fighting because he knows martial arts. He's a really good fighter.
Okay.
And I feel like if he brings that to Batman's fighting style, it would definitely be up our alley.
I could definitely see it. He's got like this strong jaw, but his face is just kind of thin for Batman. But so is Brandon Skellner, but everybody thinks Brandon Skellner needs to play Batman.
Yeah, that comes up to my first choice.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't seen much of his acting skills or anything, but I've seen a couple of clips when he's in 1923 is his TV show, and I could see it. He got that rough, gritty look. I say like a month or two ago, he posted a workout picture. I feel like he would be a good mixture of Batman and Bruce Wayne.
I've seen clips all over like TikTok and stuff. He does really good, and his fighting doesn't look bad. That's already another plus for if he ever played like a Batman as well. But I always kind of leaned more towards Alan Ritchson, so I was really upset when Alan Ritchson came out and said that he wasn't going to be playing Batman.
I'm with you. He was my top pick too, but I'll be honest, what didn't work for me, why he wasn't on my list, was because his size difference. He would make Cornsweat Superman look so small.
I really enjoy like a really lean version of Batman, not as much as like The Dark Knight Returns, but more so like what we had with Ben Affleck's Batman. I feel like Ben Affleck's Batman was like the perfect size for Batman.
I have to agree. I think what made Ben Affleck's Batman the top Batman was not only his costume, but like his size. Him next to Henry Cavill, seeing them two and how much weight that they put on for the role, it just looks good.
They almost had it like perfect with that.
With his size, you could believe that he could throw someone across the room. Like if
Yeah, seriously.
If you seen like Christian Bale or Robert Pattinson's Batman throw someone across the room, you're like, I don't know about that.
I think the funniest thing is I've been seeing a lot of people throw out their Jake Gyllenhaal, which like, I don't know.
I was going to put him on my list, but I'm with you. It wouldn't work. I feel like if we're starting with a new universe, they should do what they did with Cornsweat. Like, he wasn't a well-known actor. He's just starting out. I feel like if they're going to start a new universe, they have to get people that are not well-known.
I kind of really enjoyed seeing somebody like David Cornsweat take the spotlight and just freaking run with it, dude.
David Cornsweat, my only complaint about him was the way he acts sometimes in the movies, kind of like a crybaby sometimes.
Gunn really played into the human side of Superman in this movie, which is something that I really thoroughly enjoyed. But I could totally see why people would think that he's a little bit too soft for their take, especially after seeing Henry Cavill's take on Superman for so long and then just almost flip like a complete 180. But I think it has its pros and cons for sure. You're going to be able to potentially see a Superman who develops more emotionally throughout the movies and becomes like more strong and stoic throughout, maybe even in the second movie, as opposed to Henry Cavill's where he was just stone cold from the beginning.
Yeah, that's true. I feel like as soon as he meets Batman, or I feel like Batman will show him more maturity, like make him grow as a superhero and as a person.
Which brings me to another thing. Have you ever read anything from World's Finest?
Not yet. It's on my top choice to read. I heard a lot of good things about it.
There's a lot of really cool Batman and Superman stories out there to unpack. Like Public Enemies is really good. Mark Waid's run right now is phenomenal. I would love to see that kind of dynamic between Superman and Batman in the movies. That's one of the things that like I feel like I didn't really like too much about Snyder's universe, was that right off the rip, Batman and Superman did not like each other. They never really grew towards each other. It was just kind of agreeing to disagree kind of thing, and like working together just because they had to. So I feel like it'd be a really interesting thing that James Gunn explores in his universe as well.
I kind of feel like the way they should act towards each other is how Tony Stark and Steve Rogers acts in the Marvel universe, where they respect each other and they're always there.
Exactly. So you want kind of like a, not like super best friends, but more so like they have each other's back when they need it.
Yeah, like
okay,
a show of respect.
That's another thing too. Robins and the Bat family. I don't know how I want that to go, but I feel like we need to start with Dick Grayson. It just kind of like makes the most sense.
Dick Grayson is everyone's favorite. He got the best story, I think, personally. Now, I might get a lot of heat for that, but I
a lot of Damian fans looking at you right now.
Yeah.
Imagine if they just kind of dropped into like the Under the Red Hood storyline in the live action. It's not like my favorite Batman story, but I would say it's long overdue for like a proper live action adaptation because they tried it in Titans.
I think I watched the first season, but I never finished it. But I went back and I seen some scenes of stuff, and they did iterate that a little bit.
It was like so cool at first, but then it just fell off so hard. Some of Jeff John's worst work, I swear. So would you, I feel like I've seen something about Damian Wayne. Hold on, I gotta look this up.
Yeah, James Gunn does want to, Batman Brave and the Bold is what he's calling it. He wants Damian Wayne to be the Robin first.
That is so weird.
I feel like that should come later.
Yeah.
I feel like we should have Dick Grayson first. Because in the comics, Damian Wayne doesn't come right away. He comes later.
We're talking like, what was it, 50 years of Batman history before Damian Wayne even showed up.
Is this Batman like 10 years old already, and he already has a backstory with the other Robins, and he just wants to start with Damian Wayne? Or
yeah, I think if we're gonna get Damian Wayne, we need to have Dick Grayson in the background, or Jason Todd has to already have been passed away and stuff like that. I want to see the other Robins actually like develop. I don't want to just see Damian Wayne. I don't mind Damian. I feel like Damian is probably one of the most underdog Robins that exist.
Yeah, I agree, and especially like to introduce Batman like that in the universe, I feel like that would be not the right way.
But yeah, with that being said, I think we covered everything that we want to see.
I agree. I think we covered everything for DCU Batman.
There's a lot more to talk about. The universe is still developing, so we'll continue to make videos talking about that. We're also planning to make some videos talking about Doomsday coming up here soon, so maybe you'll see something like that next. If you're interested, hit that subscribe button. We'll see you next time.
Until next time.